It was 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday in March when everything I believed about my life, my choices, and my future collapsed in 13 minutes. Not gradually, not over time. In 13 minutes, every belief I had built my adult life around proved to be completely wrong. And the strangest part? I made one decision in those 13 minutes that changed the entire trajectory of my life. One decision that went against everything I thought I knew. One decision that contradicted every rule I'd been following. One decision that, looking back, saved me from wasting the rest of my life. Right now, you probably have beliefs about how life works. Beliefs about what you should do, what's possible, what's realistic, what's responsible, what success looks like, how change happens. You've built your life around these beliefs. You make decisions based on them. You use them to determine what to pursue and what to avoid. But what if those beliefs are wrong? What if the rules you're following are keeping you stuck? What if everything you believe about how to live your life is actually preventing you from living the life you want? Most people never question their core beliefs. They inherit beliefs from their parents, absorb beliefs from society, adopt beliefs from their culture, and then spend their entire lives following those beliefs without ever examining whether they're true or helpful. They live according to rules they never chose, pursuing goals they never wanted, avoiding possibilities they never questioned. And they stay stuck. Not because they're failing at life, but because they're succeeding at following beliefs that don't serve them. They're doing exactly what they think they should do. And that's the problem. Think about the beliefs that govern your life right now. Beliefs about work, money, success, relationships, risk, safety, responsibility, age, time, possibility. Where did these beliefs come from? Did you consciously choose them, or did you just absorb them and accept them as truth? And more importantly, are these beliefs actually helping you, or are they keeping you stuck in a life that doesn't fulfill you? I spent 33 years following beliefs I never questioned. Beliefs about what responsible adults do. Beliefs about the right way to build a career. Beliefs about when it's too late to make changes. Beliefs about what's realistic and what's just fantasy. And those beliefs created a life that looked successful from the outside but felt empty from the inside. Until that Tuesday night at 11:47 p.m., when every single one of those beliefs shattered. When I saw clearly that everything I believed was wrong. When I made one decision that contradicted all my rules. When everything changed. Today, I'm going to take you through that midnight moment. I'm going to show you exactly what beliefs I was following and how they were destroying my life. I'm going to reveal what happened in those 13 minutes that shattered everything. I'm going to share the one decision I made that changed everything. And most importantly, I'm going to give you the exact framework to examine your own beliefs and make the midnight decision that changes your life. But I need you to be ready for something uncomfortable. Questioning your beliefs means facing the possibility that you've been living wrong, that the rules you've been following don't serve you, that you've been building a life based on false assumptions, that everything might need to change. Are you ready for that possibility? Are you ready to question everything you believe? Are you ready for your own midnight moment? Then let's begin. Because the beliefs you're following right now are either serving you or sabotaging you, and it's time to find out which. Let me take you to 11:47 p.m. on that Tuesday in March. I was 33 years old, sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a job offer email I'd received that afternoon. An email I'd read 17 times without being able to make a decision. The offer was for a position at a startup in another city, doing work I'd always wanted to do, using skills I'd always wanted to develop, at a company building something I believed in. But the salary was 30% less than my current corporate job. The benefits were uncertain. The company might fail. The whole thing felt risky and irresponsible. My current job was stable, well-paid, and soul-crushingly boring. I'd been there for 9 years, doing work I didn't care about. for a company whose mission meant nothing to me, but it was safe, predictable, responsible. Everything I thought an adult should prioritize. The decision should have been obvious. Take the job I actually wanted. But I couldn't decide, because every belief I had was screaming at me to turn down the offer and stay in my safe, boring job. Let me show you the exact beliefs that were keeping me stuck at that kitchen table at midnight, unable to choose what I actually wanted. Belief 1, financial security is the most important thing. I believe that responsible adults prioritize financial security above everything else, that you don't take pay cuts, that you don't risk stable income for uncertain income, that financial security is the foundation of a good life and you don't compromise it for anything. This belief said, turn down the offer. The pay cut is irresponsible. The uncertainty is reckless. Stay in the stable job even if you hate it. Security first, always. Where this belief came from? My parents. They had lived through financial instability when I was young. They had drilled into me that security was paramount, that you never risk income, that steady paychecks matter more than fulfillment. I had absorbed this belief completely and never questioned it. Belief 2, corporate career paths are the responsible choice. I believe that responsible, educated adults work for established corporations, that startups are risky gambles for young people or risk takers, that once you're in your 30s with a corporate career, you don't throw it away for startup adventures, that the responsible path is climbing the corporate ladder, not jumping to uncertain ventures. This belief said, turn down the offer. Startups are irresponsible. Corporate careers are what serious adults do. You've invested 9 years building corporate experience. Don't waste it on a risky startup. Where this belief came from? Society and education. My business degree program had prepared me for corporate careers. Everyone I knew worked for established companies. Startups seemed like lottery tickets, not careers. I had internalized that corporate jobs were legitimate and startups were gambles. Belief 3. Geographic stability is important. I believe that adults settle in one place, that moving cities in your 30s, especially for a job, is disruptive and irresponsible. That you build community, buy property, establish roots, and stay put. That geographic stability is a sign of maturity. This belief said, turn down the offer. Moving cities is disruptive. You've been here for 9 years. You have friends, routines, familiarity. Don't uproot yourself for a job. Geographic stability matters. Where this belief came from? Observing others. Everyone I knew who was successful had settled somewhere and stayed. People who moved around seemed unsettled or unsuccessful. I had concluded that stability meant staying put. Belief 4. You can't afford to fail in your 30s. I believe there's a window for career risks, and that window closes in your 30s. That in your 20s, you can experiment and fail. But by your 30s, you should have figured things out. That taking career risks at 33 is too late. That failure at this age would be devastating and irreversible. This belief said, turn down the offer. You're 33, not 23. This isn't the time for risky moves. If this startup fails, you'll be unemployed in your mid-30s trying to restart your career. That's too risky. Play it safe. Where this belief came from? Internalized age anxiety. I had absorbed cultural messages about life, timelines. Somewhere I'd learned that 30s are for stability, not experimentation. I believed I'd missed my window for career risks. Belief 5. Fulfillment is optional, responsibility is required. I believe that while fulfillment would be nice, it's not required for a good life. That responsible adults do what they should do, not necessarily what they want to do. That work is work, It's not supposed to be fulfilling. That feeling fulfilled is a bonus, not a necessity. This belief said, turn down the offer. So what if the startup work is more fulfilling? That's not the priority. The priority is being responsible, earning good money, having security. Fulfillment is something you pursue after you've secured everything else. Where this belief came from, work culture I'd absorbed. Do what you love seemed like naive advice. Real adults work jobs they tolerate to support the lives they want. Passion and fulfillment were luxuries, not necessities. I believed responsible meant boring. Belief 6, calculated decisions are superior to intuitive decisions. I believe that good decisions come from careful analysis, weighing pros and cons, calculating risks and rewards, that intuitive feelings are unreliable, that if a decision feels right but doesn't calculate well, you should trust the calculation, not the feeling. This belief said, turn down the offer. Yes, it feels exciting and right, but when you calculate it, pay cut, geographic move, startup risk, age concerns, it doesn't make sense on paper. Trust the calculation, not the feeling. Where this belief came from, my education and personality. I'd been trained to analyze everything. I didn't trust feelings or intuition. I believed rational calculation was superior to emotional response. I had made every major life decision by spreadsheet. Belief 7, other people's opinions matter more than your own desires. I believed that what other people think about your choices matters significantly. That you should consider how your decisions will be perceived. That if people who care about you think something is a bad idea, that's important data. That disappointing others or seeming irresponsible to them should factor heavily into decisions. This belief said, turn down the offer. Your parents will think you're being irresponsible. Your colleagues will think you're making a mistake. Your friends will think you're having a crisis. Their concern means this is probably a bad decision. Where this belief came from, chronic people-pleasing. I had spent my life making decisions based partly on how others would perceive them. I was afraid of disappointing people or seeming foolish. I weighted others' opinions heavily in my decision-making. These 7 beliefs had controlled every major decision I'd made for 33 years. They had created a life that looked successful from the outside. Stable corporate job, good salary, established in one city, following a responsible path. But from the inside, my life felt dead. Secure but meaningless. Responsible but unfulfilling. Safe but suffocating. And at 11:47 p.m., staring at that job offer, these beliefs were telling me to turn it down, to stay in my boring, safe job, to choose security over fulfillment, to follow the responsible path even though it was killing my soul. I had read the email 17 times. I had made spreadsheets comparing the 2 options. I had called 3 friends for advice. I had reread the offer looking for red flags. I had spent 6 hours trying to make this decision using all my beliefs and all my analytical tools. And I couldn't decide, because deep down, underneath all these beliefs, was a quiet voice saying, you want this job. You know you want it. Everything in you is saying yes except your beliefs. But I didn't trust that voice. I trusted my beliefs. My beliefs were what responsible adults followed. That voice was just emotion and fantasy and recklessness. So I sat at my kitchen table at midnight, paralyzed between what I wanted and what I believed I should want, between the life that excited me and the life my beliefs told me was right. And then, at exactly midnight, my phone rang, and everything changed. The call was from my father. It was midnight, which meant something was wrong. My father doesn't call at midnight unless there's an emergency. Dad, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I can't sleep, and I saw your light was on. Can I come up? My parents lived in the apartment below mine in the same building. My father appeared at my door 3 minutes later in his robe. "What are you doing up?" he asked, sitting down at the kitchen table. "I got a job offer. I'm trying to decide what to do." I explained the offer, the startup, the different city, the pay cut, the risk, everything. He listened. And then he asked, "What do you want to do?" "I want to take it, but it doesn't make sense. The pay cut is significant. The risk is high. Moving cities is disruptive. I'm 33, too old for this kind of gamble. And honestly, I think you and Mom would think it's irresponsible." My father was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something I'll never forget. "I'm 68 years old. I spent 42 years in a corporate job I hated. Every single day for 42 years, I went to work doing something that bored me, for a company whose mission I didn't believe in, because I thought that's what responsible adults do. I thought security was the most important thing. I thought providing for my family meant staying in that job no matter how much I hated it." He paused. I had never heard him talk about his career this way. "And you know what I have to show for 42 years of being responsible? A pension, a house, financial security, and a lifetime of regret about work I never did, dreams I never pursued, and the fact that I spent the majority of my waking adult life doing something I hated." He looked directly at me. "You want to know what I think about your decision? I think you should take that job. I think the pay cut doesn't matter. I think the risk is worth it. I think moving cities is fine. I think 33 is young. And I think everything I taught you about security being the most important thing was wrong." I stared at him, stunned. "Everything I told you about playing it safe and being responsible, I was wrong. I was teaching you my regrets. I was passing on beliefs that destroyed my fulfillment so they could destroy yours too. And I don't want that for you." He stood up to leave. At the door, he turned back. "Take the job. Take every job that excites you. Build a career around work you actually care about. Don't spend 42 years being responsible and regretting it. I don't want you at 68 wishing you'd been braver at 33. He left. It was 12:13 a.m., 13 minutes since the call, and every belief I had been following for 33 years shattered. I had based my entire life on beliefs I learned from my father. Security first. Corporate careers are responsible. Stability matters. Don't take risks. Be careful. Play it safe. Those beliefs came from him. And in 13 minutes, he told me those beliefs were wrong, that they had destroyed his fulfillment, that he regretted following them, that he didn't want me to follow them. The foundation of every major decision I'd made crumbled, because if these beliefs came from my father, and my father regretted following them, then what was I doing following them? I sat at that kitchen table and did something I'd never done. I questioned every belief I held. Belief: financial security is the most important thing. Question: is it? My father had financial security and lifetime regret. Would I rather have perfect financial security and deep regret, or slightly less security and deep fulfillment? The belief shattered. Financial security isn't the most important thing. Fulfillment is. Belief: corporate career paths are the responsible choice. Question: according to whom? Why is a corporate job more responsible than a startup? Because it's more stable? But stable and unfulfilling isn't more responsible. It's just more safe. And safe isn't the same as right. The belief shattered. Corporate careers aren't inherently more responsible. They're just more conventional. Belief: geographic stability is important. Question: why? Because that's what settled adults do? But I'm not settled. I'm stuck. There's a difference. And who decided that moving in your 30s is irresponsible? People move at 60. Why not 33? The belief shattered. Geographic stability is just another word for fear of change. Belief: you can't afford to fail in your 30s. Question: Who made that rule? My father thought he couldn't take risks at 33. Now at 68, he wishes he had. Would I rather risk failure at 33 or reach 68 having never risked anything and regretting it? The belief shattered. The only age when you truly can't afford to fail is when you're dead. Every other age still has time. Belief. Fulfillment is optional. Responsibility is required. Question. What kind of life am I building if fulfillment is optional? A responsible, miserable life? My father was responsible for 42 years, and now he regrets it. Maybe fulfillment isn't optional. Maybe it's essential. The belief shattered. A responsible but unfulfilled life isn't a good life. It's a wasted life. Belief. Calculated decisions are superior to intuitive decisions. Question. I've been calculating for 6 hours and I'm paralyzed. My intuition knows what I want in 6 seconds. Why do I trust the calculation that's keeping me stuck over the intuition that's pulling me forward? The belief shattered. Calculations can analyze everything except what matters, what I actually want. Belief. Other people's opinions matter more than my own desires. Question. I've been worried about disappointing my parents, but my father just told me he'll be disappointed if I don't take the risk. I've been imagining others' judgment, but who decided their imagined opinions should control my real life? The belief shattered. Other people's opinions can inform my decisions, but they can't make my decisions. In those moments after my father left, every belief I'd built my life around collapsed. And underneath all those beliefs was something simple and clear. I knew what I wanted. I wanted that job. I'd known since I read the email, but my beliefs had been drowning out what I knew. At 12:22 a.m., I made a decision, not based on my old beliefs, based on what I actually wanted. I replied to the email. I accept the offer. When do I start? I pressed send at 12:24 a.m. One decision, 13 minutes after the conversation with my father, going against every belief I'd followed for 33 years. And everything changed. Not gradually, immediately. The moment I pressed send, I felt different. Not because the job was going to be perfect or the move was going to be easy, but because I had finally made a decision based on what I wanted instead of what my beliefs told me I should want. I had broken free from beliefs that weren't serving me. I had chosen fulfillment over security, meaning over safety, what I wanted over what I thought I should want. Over the next 2 months, I gave notice at my corporate job, moved to the new city, and started at the startup. Was it scary? Absolutely. Was it uncertain? Yes. Was it risky? Completely. But was it right? Unquestionably. Because I wasn't following beliefs anymore. I was following what I actually wanted. And that made all the difference. After transforming my life by questioning my beliefs, I developed what I call the Belief Examination Framework. This is the system that helps you identify which beliefs are serving you and which are sabotaging you, and gives you the tools to change beliefs that don't serve you. The framework has 7 components, and each one is essential. Component 1, the belief inventory. You need to identify specifically what beliefs are governing your life. Most people follow beliefs they've never articulated or examined. The practice. Answer these prompts to surface your beliefs. I believe the most important thing in life is, I believe responsible adults should. I believe it's too late to. I believe I can't do this thing because. I believe success means. I believe the right way to make decisions is. I believe what other people think about my choices is. Write at least 20 beliefs. These are the rules you're following. Get them visible. My inventory revealed 37 beliefs I'd never consciously chosen. Beliefs about work, money, age, risk, responsibility, success, relationships, geography, timing, and decision-making. I had been following all of them without ever questioning whether they were true or helpful. Component 2, the belief origin investigation. For each belief, you need to identify where it came from. Because most of your beliefs aren't yours, you absorb them from others. The practice. For each belief, ask, where did this belief come from? Who taught it to me? When did I adopt it? Write the origin story of each belief. Example, belief. Financial security is the most important thing. Origin. My father taught this during my childhood when they struggled financially. I absorbed it completely and never questioned it. This investigation reveals that most of your beliefs aren't based on your own experience or conscious choice. They're inherited, absorbed, or adopted without examination. Knowing this makes them easier to question. Component 3, the belief impact assessment. For each belief, you need to assess whether it's helping you or hurting you. Some beliefs serve you, others sabotage you. The practice. For each belief, complete these statements. Because I believe this, I do this thing. Because I believe this, I don't do this thing. This belief has created these results in my life. If I didn't have this belief, I would probably... Example, belief. You can't afford to fail in your 30s. Impact. Because I believe this, I avoid all career risks. Because I believe this, I don't pursue opportunities that excite me. This belief has kept me stuck in a boring job for 9 years. If I didn't have this belief, I would probably take more risks and pursue more interesting opportunities. This assessment shows you clearly whether the belief is serving you or limiting you. Component 4, the evidence examination. Most beliefs are assumed to be true without evidence. You need to examine whether your beliefs are actually true. The practice. For each belief, ask, what evidence do I have that this belief is true? What evidence exists that contradicts this belief? Who has succeeded by doing the opposite of this belief? Example, belief. Corporate careers are the responsible choice. Evidence for, corporations are stable, offer benefits, have established career paths. Evidence against, many startups succeed. Many people have fulfilling startup careers. Many corporate employees are miserable. Responsibility means different things to different people. People who succeeded doing the opposite. Thousands of successful entrepreneurs who left corporate jobs for startups. Conclusion. This belief isn't universally true. It's one option among many. This examination reveals that many beliefs you treat as facts are actually just opinions or assumptions. Component 5, the alternative belief creation. Once you've identified a belief that's limiting you, you need to create an alternative belief that would serve you better. The practice. For each limiting belief, create an alternative belief statement. Format. Old belief. Statement of limiting belief. Alternative belief. Statement of empowering belief. Evidence for alternative. Examples supporting the new belief. Example. Old belief. You can't afford to fail in your 30s. Alternative belief. Your 30s are an excellent time to take calculated risks because you have experience, skills, and time to recover if needed. Evidence for alternative. Many successful people made major career changes in their 30s. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 62. You have decades ahead to build on risks taken now. This gives you a new belief to practice adopting. Component 6, the belief testing protocol. Before fully adopting a new belief, you should test it with small experiments. The practice. Choose one alternative belief to test. Identify a small action you could take based on this new belief. Take the action and observe the results. Example: alternative belief. Fulfillment is essential, not optional. Test action. For 1 week, prioritize fulfilling activities over merely productive ones. Notice how you feel. Result: I felt more energized and engaged. This supports the alternative belief. Testing prevents you from blindly swapping one untested belief for another. It gives you personal evidence for new beliefs. Component 7. The belief adoption decision. Once you've examined a belief, assessed its impact, examined evidence, created alternatives, and tested them, you need to consciously decide which belief to follow. The practice. For each belief, make an explicit decision. I have examined this belief. It came from this source. It has had this impact. The evidence shows this. I have tested this alternative. Based on all this, I consciously choose to adopt this belief going forward. Example: I have examined the belief that financial security is most important. It came from my father's financial struggles. It has kept me in an unfulfilling job for years. The evidence shows that fulfillment matters more for life satisfaction. I tested prioritizing fulfillment and felt better. Based on this, I consciously choose to adopt the belief that fulfillment and meaning are more important than maximum financial security. This explicit decision transforms beliefs from unconscious rules into conscious choices. These 7 components create a complete system for examining your beliefs, identifying which ones are limiting you, and consciously choosing beliefs that serve you better. Now you understand how to examine and transform your beliefs. Let me give you the exact action plan to create your own midnight decision moment. Action 1. Complete your belief inventory this week. Answer all 7 prompts multiple times. Write down at least 20 beliefs that govern your life. Get them visible. You can't examine beliefs you haven't articulated. Action 2. Choose your most limiting belief. From your inventory, identify which belief is costing you the most. Which belief is keeping you stuck, preventing growth, or creating the most suffering. This is your priority belief to examine. Action 3. Investigate the origin of that belief. Write where it came from. Who taught it? When did you adopt it? Was it based on their experience or your own? Was it consciously chosen or unconsciously absorbed? Understanding its origin helps you question it. Action 4. Assess the impact of that belief. Complete the 4 impact statements. Because I believe this, I do. Because I believe this, I don't do. This belief has created these results. If I didn't have this belief, I would probably see clearly how this belief is affecting your life. Action 5. Examine the evidence for your belief. Write what evidence supports it and what evidence contradicts it. Find examples of people who succeeded by doing the opposite. Most limiting beliefs have weak evidence. Seeing this makes them easier to release. Action 6. Create one alternative belief. Write an alternative to your limiting belief. Make it empowering, specific, and supported by evidence. This gives you something to move toward, not just something to move away from. Action 7. Test your alternative belief this week. Choose one small action based on your alternative belief. Take that action. Observe what happens. Did the results support the old belief or the alternative belief? Personal testing creates powerful evidence. Action 8. Make your belief adoption decision. Based on your examination, explicitly decide, do I choose to keep following the old belief, or do I consciously adopt the alternative belief? Write your decision clearly. Action 9. Identify one decision you've been struggling with. You've been unable to decide because conflicting beliefs are paralyzing you. Write down the decision and the beliefs on each side. Now, using your new framework, examine those beliefs. Which ones serve you? Which limit you? Make your decision based on beliefs that serve you, not beliefs you inherited. Action 10. Share your belief transformation with one person. Tell someone, I've been following this belief. I examined it and realized it's been limiting me. I'm consciously choosing this alternative belief instead. Saying it out loud makes the transformation real. Action 11. Create your belief examination habits. Once per month, examine one belief. Pick a belief, go through all 7 components of the framework, make a conscious decision about whether to keep it or change it. This creates ongoing belief transformation instead of one-time change. Action 12. Question 1, should per day. Every time you think, I should do this, or I should want this, ask, according to which belief? Is that belief serving me? This builds awareness of how beliefs control your daily choices. Action 13. Find one person who broke the belief you're questioning. Research someone who succeeded by doing the opposite of what your limiting belief says. Study their story. Use their example as evidence that the alternative belief works. Action 14. Schedule your midnight decision moment. Block time this week to sit with a decision you've been avoiding, not to calculate more, to ask, what do I actually want? What beliefs are stopping me from choosing it? Which beliefs serve me? Based on those beliefs, what's my decision? Make the decision. Action 15. Write your belief transformation commitment. I commit to examining my beliefs instead of blindly following them. I commit to questioning beliefs that limit me. I commit to consciously choosing beliefs that serve me. I commit to making decisions based on beliefs I've examined, not beliefs I've inherited. I will not spend my life following rules I never chose. Sign it, date it. Now, some of you are thinking, but what if the beliefs I've been following are actually correct? What if questioning them leads me to make bad decisions? What if the traditional wisdom exists for good reasons? Here's my answer. Examining beliefs doesn't mean automatically rejecting them. It means consciously choosing them. Maybe after examination, you'll decide your current beliefs do serve you. Great, now you're following them consciously instead of blindly. But if a belief only survives because you never questioned it, it probably doesn't serve you. Strong, helpful beliefs withstand examination. Weak, limiting beliefs crumble when examined. The question isn't whether traditional wisdom exists for good reasons. The question is whether those reasons apply to you and your life. Let me tell you where I am now, 8 years after that midnight decision. I'm 41 years old. I spent 7 years at that startup. It was challenging, uncertain, and the most fulfilling work I've ever done. The company succeeded. I developed skills I never would have developed in corporate. I built a career around work I actually cared about. I've since moved to another opportunity that excited me. I've taken 3 more risks since that first one. I've made decisions based on what I wanted, not what my old beliefs told me I should want. I've moved cities twice more. I've taken 2 more pay cuts for better opportunities. I've failed at some things. I've succeeded at others. I've built a life that's uncertain but fulfilling instead of secure but empty. And I've never once regretted leaving that corporate job. 8 years ago, I was following beliefs I'd never questioned. Beliefs that told me to prioritize security over fulfillment, safety over meaning, conventional success over actual happiness. Those beliefs had created a life that looked good from the outside but felt dead from the inside. Today, I follow beliefs I've consciously chosen, beliefs that prioritize fulfillment, meaning, and alignment with what I actually want. These beliefs have created a life that might look riskier from the outside but feels alive from the inside. Here's what I learned. The beliefs you follow determine the life you live. If you follow beliefs that prioritize security above all else, you'll live a secure but possibly unfulfilling life. If you follow beliefs that prioritize conventional success, you'll live a conventionally successful but possibly meaningless life. If you follow beliefs that prioritize others' approval, you'll live a life that pleases others but not yourself. Your beliefs are either serving you or sabotaging you. There's no middle ground. 8 years ago, my beliefs were sabotaging me. I was living according to rules that weren't mine, pursuing goals I didn't choose, avoiding possibilities I never questioned. I was succeeding at someone else's definition of life. That midnight conversation with my father shattered those beliefs, and in the wreckage, I found clarity about what I actually wanted, not what I thought I should want, what I actually wanted. The decision I made at 12:24 a.m. changed everything, not because the job was perfect, but because I had finally made a decision based on examined beliefs instead of inherited ones. Right now, you're following beliefs. Beliefs about work, money, success, risk, age, timing, responsibility, relationships, geography, decision-making. You're making choices based on these beliefs. You're building your life according to these rules. But have you ever questioned them? Have you ever examined where they came from? Have you ever assessed whether they're serving you or limiting you? Have you ever consciously chosen them? Or are you just following beliefs you inherited without examination? My father spent 42 years following beliefs he never questioned, and at 68, he regretted it. He wished he'd been braver. He wished he'd questioned his beliefs sooner. He wished he'd made decisions based on what he wanted instead of what he thought he should want. He didn't want me to reach 68 with the same regrets. 8 years ago, I was 33 following the same beliefs that had limited him. Today, I'm 41 following beliefs I've consciously chosen, and the difference is everything. You don't need to wait for a midnight phone call from someone telling you your beliefs are wrong. You can examine them yourself. You can question them now. You can consciously choose which beliefs to follow. What beliefs are governing your life right now? Which decisions are you making based on inherited rules instead of examined choices? What would change if you questioned those beliefs? That midnight decision 8 years ago didn't just change my job, it changed my entire approach to life. I stopped following rules I never chose. I started examining beliefs before following them. I began making decisions based on consciously chosen values instead of unconsciously inherited beliefs. Your midnight decision is waiting. Not the decision about a specific job or move or relationship. The decision to stop blindly following beliefs and start consciously examining them. That's the decision that changes everything. 8 years ago, I made that decision at 12:24 a.m. My life transformed completely. Make your midnight decision. Examine your beliefs. Question your rules. Consciously choose what you follow. Everything you believe is either serving you or sabotaging you. It's time to find out which.